Hello everyone. I'm hoping this is capturing everything, see my hairy hands. Anyway, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a long time since I recorded. I can tell it's been a long time since I recorded because I wasted the last 5 minutes talking to a camera that was not recording anything. And I'm hoping that the recording software that I'm using is recording because I spent like again 5 minutes talking to nothing. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've done this. Like what? Last 2 months? The last time I did this was like a couple of months ago. For frick's sake. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a better camera, but in order to do that, I have to make sure that I make the best use out of it. I don't want to spend money on like expensive stuff, and in the end, I'm not gonna use it. So, we're gonna be doing a rough draft. I'm not gonna be doing anything serious. This is just a rough draft, just to get into the swing of things. Get back into the traditional art sense of drawing. Uh, anyway, so last couple of months have been hectic. It's been difficult. It's like exams after exams for work and everything. Anyway, so I got this idea after watching a certain video, and I want to see if I can pull it off. Anyway, uh, yeah, I'm really rusty on this one. Uh, in terms of like a lot of videos, I don't know, it's gonna be a really difficult thing to get back to the swing of things because like I said, it took me like a long time to finish everything, and now since my schedule's free, I can get back into it, but it's baby steps, one step at a time, but we'll get there eventually. Oh yeah, I need to use something because I just remembered that I have sweaty hands, and oh god, wait, what else dropped? What else fell down? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, when it comes to video games, it's gonna be a while before I can get back and start recording video games. When it comes to art, I might go back to posting more, like cursed art. Uh, I have fun drawing those. And speaking of art, I'm going to slowly try to learn the fundamentals because I've joined a Discord server and to polish up my to polish up and see actual critiques and everything. And the most thing people said about my artwork is that it lacks fundamentals, and I guess it's true. I guess it is true. So what I'm gonna be doing is, they recommended me to read, Andrew Loomis and everything. So that's what I've been doing for like the last couple of weeks of my free time, reading Andrew Loomis and whatnot. It's already buckling. This is not good. It's been very humid, and this is not good. I put this paper under heavy weight, and yet the moment I touch this paper, it just starts to buckle. Anyway, I'm just drawing, a rough sketch, just to get a good idea of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to draw the characters. You could probably, I don't know if you can guess it immediately or not, but we're just getting a like rough idea of the area. Yeah. Also, also in another, I also wanted to talk about this. I'm gonna stop playing uh, Dead or Alive because I feel like even though I didn't play a lot of it, I feel like I reached my point of fun with it. I'm gonna be learning how to play King of Fighters 14. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, it's been so long. I feel so scatterbrained. I feel like there's so much to, talk about yet there's little time because again I'm on a time limit. I can't stay on this recording for too long because I have to get ready for work tomorrow, and yeah, there's like so little time. Hence why I said this is just gonna be the rough sketch phase where just me learning the idea, then slowly punching it in. I hope it's recording. Yeah, it is. It is. It's recording. Uh, yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna stop playing Dead or Alive. I feel like, yeah, I reached my point of fun with it. I hope it's picking up the lines. Nope, you're just seeing me, draw nothing. Even like the faintest of lines, you can barely see it. Um, so yeah, I guess want to say it's like whoever is bothering watching this video, I guess like thank you to those who stick to watch my channel. I guess even though there's much on it, but it's good. You know, I like to think that like my channel is like I wouldn't call. I would like to say like a waiting station. It's like you're just waiting for something better to come up, which is like the best way to say I would like to call my channel. It's like there's just much, there's much here, but I try my best. I try whenever I have the time to record. I just try to record them. Uh, Funny enough, I want to use these videos to be better at expressing myself and be better at talking and everything. It somehow has the reverse effect. Somehow. It somehow has like the reverse effect where I'm talking less, I guess, talking less, and not really expressing much, which is kind of the unintended effect, really. So this is going to be a unique one because we're looking at this at an angle, so I'm not sure. There's like different ways I can approach this. I can make the characters look like they're floating in front of the thing, and even to give it the comedic effect of ha 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 ha, or I can actually make them grounded to the area, but then I have to make sure that the perspective is right. So what I might do is, so my approach is, since I'm using a reference for this, I might just place them like they're in front of the image. So let me just make sure. So let me just make sure I get the proper thing for this. Ah, let me just see. Let's see. So, are you seeing the recording? Nope, you can't. The farthest you can see is here, which is good. So I'm just gonna wait and check on something. Okay, so just make sure. Okay, so let's see. So we're gonna have also. So there's like another problem here because the way I drew this makes it look like it's close, but I don't want it to be too close. So what I wanted. So this is gonna be like an interesting experiment because this is gonna be like the first time I drew three at once at like this kind of angle. So we're gonna see what happens right now. So this is gonna be, what comes to art is always a fun experiment to see what happens. So right now, let's just see. Let me just check on something. Let me just use another. Is it still okay? Good. Okay, let's just use another. Let's just use another example here. Uh, I can't emphasize this enough, and as much as I read a lot online, references is important. It's like incredibly important. Do not underestimate the power of references. You gotta say it's like, oh, you're cheating and everything, but you can't always rely on how good your imagination is. You can't really rely heavily on how good your imagination is because when you're starting, your imagination is kind of limited. So there isn't much you can do, and you're just gonna be making like incorrect estimations, incorrect sizes, and everything. People say it's like, oh, you're using references, you're cheating, and everything. I, I bet a lot of artists, a lot of even professional artists, or a lot of well-known artists use references, or if they don't use references, they have used references before to build up the library in their heads to be able to produce such fine art. So don't feel embarrassed to use references. It's not really something to be ashamed of. Plus, you could use references to see the small little details to allow you to make things look better. Plus, the more you know about things, the better you're able to um, take advantage of what you see and add your own little touches to it. like there are millions and millions of, oh no, there are like, you can see here. I'll just show you. The paper's starting to buckle. This is what I want to know how people or how artists who use paper are actually able to prevent their paper from buckling. Do they like use a secret technique or anything? Anyway, I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get too far from the topic, but the bottom line is it's okay to use references. It's not that wrong. Don't feel ashamed if you have to use references. It's not that wrong. I used to be like that. I used to think like, oh no, like just because I know something. Because if you want to make poses more dynamic, it's kind of interesting how small little changes to the poses could make things look more different. Like right now, if I made the hips and the shoulders like parallel, it would have looked boring. Like yes, it would look, even if I drew the drawing properly and everything, it would still look, boring. There's no dynamic to it. When they when you hear people online talk about like, oh, this pose looks dynamic and this pose looks, you know, vibrant or something, they mean that this pose, the reason why this causes a dynamic feel to it is because it feels like it's emotion. It feels like it's more emotion in comparison when you draw. Let me just see. Okay, let me just ignore the lines. I use this, for pre-recording everything. So when you draw something like this, and even though you complete the drawing, it still doesn't really look that interesting. So it's like you can have them, do the most fabulous of poses, but it really wouldn't make a difference. But in comparison, if you did it like this, like if you did it like this, the reason why is because of how we tilt. Even if you try to tilt your shoulder, you can try right now. You can try tilting your shoulder. You instinctively would try to form your hips in parallel or in a way to balance yourself with the shoulder. So it's one, a way of making your artwork look dynamic, and two, it's a way to make things look balanced. So you're technically and directly balancing things. And I think I don't have much time. It's like I think like 21 minutes before I have to stop recording. But I really want to do art tutorials. I seriously want to do art tutorials. I really want to teach how to draw. I want to do that. It's like something I want to do the moment I opened up my own, the moment I started to do these YouTube tutorials. The leg's gonna look too long. The leg's gonna look too long or too weird. No. Anyway, I'm no perfect artist. I'll be the first to admit that. I'm not good at drawing. I just go for it and just hope for the best. Alright, yeah, the legs are gonna look too long in comparison to the upper body. You sort of have to have this balance, or every once in a while make a mental check of the upper body to the lower body to make sure things look proper or not, because sometimes you will. Just make sure. Yeah, I think the thighs look too long. Let me just reduce it to half. I don't blame you if you have to like leave. I'll just make sure like this. Okay. Usually I would make a more, graceful line, graceful entry line like so, but I want to make sure this is proper since this is like, a rough sketch. Yeah, this is like a rough sketch actually. So if you notice that this hip is raised, or yeah, this hip is lowered in comparison. So with that, what we can do is we can do like this fancy dance. So I'll just do like this, and now we could do it like this. Since I'm not gonna make them placed onto the ground, I'm gonna make them like forward facing us, and I'm gonna make the background less pronounced. So I'm gonna use a pencil for the background, and I'm gonna use an ink work for the characters themselves. So that in some way would make the background not the main aspect of the drawing. So you probably think it's like what I mean the main aspect. So um, you probably noticed that when I was doing the rough sketch, you notice that there's like somewhat of a lot of details. Like there's something like this and like this and like this. If I were to ink the characters and the background, the characters won't be the main part of it. The background of the characters will be part of the image, will be part of the drawing. So if you kind of have to choose which aspect you're going for before you draw. So why I chose to make the background penciled and the characters inked is because ink tends to be more pronounced, depending on the type of ink you choose. So if since I have like bright red, bright green, bright blue, dark black, or like jet black, it's gonna be more pronounced in comparison to like a 2B pen, an F pen, an HB pen. So in that way, the character that are inked pops out even more. So they just like jump at you. So anyway, let me just get back to sketching before I mumble on even more. So like so, and then we do it like this. It takes a long time to immediately know what kind of pose you're going for, because usually there's like a problem artists have is when they start to draw, all they see in front of them is a blank page, and that is a scary thing for artists. That is like a problem for artists where let me just reset the image I'm using. Let me just reset the image I'm using because it's kind of important. It's that um, the reason why a lot of artists tend to have trouble. Okay, good. So the problem artists tend to have when it comes like to blank pages, they don't know what to start. They have a lot of ideas, but they don't know where to start. So just fortunately, when it comes to my approach, which is the super crowns, or choosing any character to turn into a super crown character, the fortunate part is that I already know what I'm going to draw, so I rarely have this issue. So the main aspect here is to sort of have an idea of what you're going to draw uh, before you actually start drawing. So have like a rough idea. And when I say rough idea is because the moment you start drawing, it's going to come out completely different than how you vision it. It's a rare case where artists finalize and go through with what they imagine. Usually that's like they're able to properly and fully render what they're imagining, but that takes like a long time of practice and everything. You see that? You see that? This is what we call buckling. It's buckling. This is due to the fact that my hands and the moisture around me gets and the moisture gets to the paper and thus makes it buckle. Even though I have a something to inhale to suck in the moisture, and I have something I have a napkin. I'm wearing this. It still doesn't stop it. Which is why I have like a lot of different countermeasures for that. Anyway, so we have like one out of three poses. Like I said, I'm using a reference, even though it's going a lot slower in comparison to when I'm not using a reference, but the fact that I'm using a reference makes me feel assured that, it's going to come out proper. So, this is the other reference. And let me just make sure. And this is another trick I'm going to show you. So, let's just take account to the height of this character here. Okay? I'm just going to do it like this. This is something I learned. This is something I learned. I'm gonna try it. This is gonna be real-time attempt. So this character is in front of us right here. So what I want to do is I want this main character to pop out. So you're gonna have like 3 layers. You're gonna have the background layer, then you have the other layer, which is the 2 characters here, and then you're gonna have this character. So I'm going to try something fairly crazy. Okay, this is gonna be really crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a perspective line, even though I don't know where is the perspective, what is the perspective, but I'm gonna try. So let's just say like this. So there's a very good chance you're not going to be able to see this line. Okay, that's just too steep. That is very too steep. I have to be very careful with this one. Taking risks. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to have to like steady this paper now. So we're going to make sure that the line isn't too steep, like that. And then we're going to create another one, and we're going to make sure it's also not too steep. We're going to like do like this. And then we're going to choose a point, and then we're going to have to abide that point. So let's just say here. So let's just create a line here, and I'll just make sure. Okay. So, and now it's a good thing I looked at the pose before, but just let me make sure. Okay. Just a couple. Um, yeah, it's taking a long time, but at least I can feel assured that I'm using proper poses. Okay, so I don't know if you can guess by the pose. I'm using the poses from Suavemente. I've been listening to that song, a lot of time this week, and it's kind of stuck in my head, so I thought, why not? So let's just make sure about the pose. So we're going to use the head as a reference here. So it's going to be like so. And then it's gonna be we're gonna have to worry about where they're facing later on, but just for me. So we're gonna do it like that. I don't know if I think nothing is showing up, but that's okay because if I pressed even a bit harder, it's gonna be difficult to erase it later on. So I hope you're gonna take my word for it. So let's just do like this, and then like that, and then like that. So again, we have the. I think this time we're just gonna draw it straight away because they're gonna be slightly far away, so we're just gonna do it like that. This is gonna be facing us, and then once again this is gonna be like that, and then like so, and then and I wish the paper didn't buckle on me a lot, but anyway, let me just make sure. Okay, and then so let me show you another thing when it comes to drawing hands. This is something I learned from one of the people I know online or follow. So let me just do this one, and then I'm just gonna show you another example. Okay, so when it comes to drawing hands, usually it's like a big hustle, or you're not sure where to place the hands. So the base part is you can just draw the hand here. Okay, so this is like the entire hand. You're gonna connect the shoulder to the hand, and then you're gonna have to find the middle part of it, and then you can like a triangle indirectly. You have a hand. I hope that makes sense. I hope that shows. But anyway, so let me just do it to behind here where I can just go crazy. Okay, so let's say you have a shoulder. Okay, and let's say the hand is over here. Okay, so this is the point that connects the hand to the rest of the arm. Okay, and then you have the shoulder over here. Okay, so you're not sure where to draw the hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab this point, then connect it here. Okay, let's just see if I could make it show up. Okay, so this ball is the hand, this ball is the shoulder, and this is the line that connects the two. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the middle line that connects between the two. You're going to grab it and you're going to pull it down. Okay? And then it's up to you to decide where to put the elbow. So if you're going to just say, oh, I'm going to put the elbow here, since the elbow is here, you can connect it here, and boom, you have an arm. Boom. I've been using this technique when it comes to drawing hands. It kind of makes it. It has made placing the arm a lot easier. I don't know if it applies to the legs as well. I don't know if it's like if you draw the legs, it's like if you have the legs here and then you can draw it here. Then you. I don't know how legs work because the leg. I don't know if. I think flexible people have more control with their legs, but a normal person like me who's not flexible at all, I don't know how to draw the legs if they could be drawn the same way as the hand, if that makes sense. Anyway, so we've done the second pose here. The two poses have three, so I'm guessing, yeah, the moment I draw the third pose, we're gonna stop there and just, hope I can see you guys next time for the inking, because the inking part is the fun part. So, the same thing here. So let me just make sure. Okay, so we're going to take this part and we're going to slightly do like that. If we want to get creative, let me just make sure on the recording. Okay, we're good on the recording. We're good on the recording there. Okay, so we want to make sure that, let's get even more crazy. Let's create even more depth. Let's just make it look like this is the guy the farthest. This guy's over here. This guy's over here. Let's just do it like this. Let's go crazy and let's place them here. Okay? But here's the fun part. Their pose is gonna be, just check. Okay. So the pose is kind of unique because the head is lowered. So let me just check. Okay. So what we're gonna do is they're gonna be. Let's check. It's kind of a difficult pose because. Just make sure. Okay. So they're kind of looking at us, but they're kind of lowering themselves. So it's gonna be. So I'm gonna try something. So instead of going to start with the head, we're gonna start with the legs immediately, and we're gonna do like this, and then we're gonna draw the legs. We don't have to draw the entire thing, so we're just gonna draw like this. Some parts of the character will be cropped. Okay, that's just too big. I kind of have a problem of learning how to draw sizes. I don't know how to size things properly. It's like one of the biggest problems, and I want to know how to fix it. It's really annoying me because sometimes I want to draw something small and it just turns out to be extremely large, and I just want to draw something. Okay, so they're kind of really close to the ground, which is something I did not expect. So I'll just do like this, a lot closer to the ground. Okay, so we're gonna do like that and like that. There we go. And let's just adjust the leg. I hope it shows, okay? And it's just like this. And then we're gonna draw it like that. Okay. It's gonna get, we're gonna adjust it as the more we go on. So then we're gonna draw the top part. For the hell of it, I'm just gonna draw the shoulder back. And then we're gonna do it. So let me just show you how can you tell if you have a shoulder at the front or at the back. So when you want to, this is sort of a rough sketch, so it's going to be difficult to show, but this is something for you. One way to show you want to show that the shoulder's at the back when it comes to rough sketching is how you place the arms. I'll just make sure, yeah, I might have to do some proper adjustments later on, maybe out of recording, but what you could do is you could put the arm over here, and then you put the arm over here. So then you're gonna have like two options. So then you could either go up here or go down here. Same thing for here. We're gonna go, since we want this to be the back, we're gonna do like this. And then this one, we're gonna go from here. So over here and then over here. So in some way now you can show that this is at the back and this is at the front, if that makes sense. And then we can add the head. So now we have three poses. Like I said, we're gonna come back to this a later time. Just the legs is really irritating me. It's really irritating me than more than it should. It's gotta create an imbalance, but you know, heck it. So I'm just gonna do like this, and then like this. Okay. Okay. And then like this. Okay, so at least there's some adjustments, but you know, for the better. So now we have this leg that's going this way, and then we have a leg that's going this way. Okay, so I guess that's it. I guess, and then we're gonna come back to it next time. Like I said, when it comes to inking. So this is like the final poses. I can remove these, and hopefully we can continue it next time. So I guess until we see each other next time, I don't know when or how, but I guess, you know, next time I'm gonna see you guys and, you know, maybe I'll have some more better interesting stories or better tips to give out. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Remember, people, stay classy and, you know, stay safe and follow COVID precautions and whatnot, because right now it's a crazy time and, you know, things are getting hectic. Anyway, bye bye.